Hello, friends. Welcome back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And with us today, of course, as usual, are the Peanut Gallery and the ASOC Prod Extraordinaire Cat. Hi, guys. What's all this brouhaha?
Hello. Peanut Gallery has wandered off to grab something. He'll be right back.
Okay, see, you guys are supposed to know the callback at this point. What's all this brouhaha?
Ha ha ha.
No, it's brouhaha? Ha ha ha! You have to have the question first, and then I answer with the laugh, and then you answer with the laugh.
I've been reading articles for like the last hour. I don't think I caught that one.
It's left. It's from the Firesign Theater thing. It's one of the.
Ah.
I lifted the heavy obsidian door knocker. Hey, in there! Your door knocker fell off. So, let me start with today's ad read. Today's pre-rolls brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, Virginia, on the Downtown Mall, 105 West Main Street, above the Brick, Suite 200, between the Green Cauldron and Hamilton's. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds, bud? And the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personal research. My own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my biased research. Don't forget to check the website for times and events. The website is thehiddenleafcville.com. That's thehiddenleafcville.com. Oh, dang it. We're doing a Weed to the People today. I almost completely forgot. I have to go get my breakfast with the Kush Gang.
Better hurry.
My goodness. Well, friends, I got so distracted by getting ready. I forgot to get ready. Give me a moment and I will be right back. All right, friends, I'm back. Sorry for the wait there. Yes, times and events like Frosty Fridays, where you can find our other sponsors, the Kush Gang, purveyor of fine edibles and drinkables, who we are having breakfast with today, and Firehouse Craft Farms, purveyors of premium bud. We are having an intense breakfast with the Kush Gang today because we are talking about some intense subjects. And as such, I'm going to include a note of disclosure about how the political opinions you hear expressed herein today belong to the expresser of the opinion, possibly to the channel, possibly even to the label, but not necessarily to any of the companies who support us, such as the Hidden Leaf, Firehouse, or the Kush Gang. Although, if we are lucky, we will have a representative of the Kush Gang here with us today. Although I will say also at that point, they aren't, when they're in my channel, they are not necessarily a representative of Kush Gang unless they're saying something you like. If you like what they're saying, they're representing the Kush Gang. If you don't like what they're saying, talk to me about it. I told them that I would work it out so that they can say whatever they want. I'll take the blame and they get the credit. So,
Okay.
you know, I want Kingsways to feel there he is, the king. I want him to feel comfortable being able to say whatever he wants without it affecting his business.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to get ready for this discussion pretty much about what's been going wrong in Trump's life recently and what he's been trying to make go wrong in our life. We're going to drink 2 bottles of drip, as well as eat one of the Rice Krispie treats, one of the Fruity Pebble treats, and one of the deliciously light and fluffy brownies. And I do want to take a moment just to shout out, Kush Gang, Kingsways, for helping me out of a bind yesterday, and showing up in a very, very helpful way that helped out not just me, but helped out my roommate, my housemate, my best friend. Like, really showed up in a way that made it so that she could get her medicine. That meant so much to me on a personal level. Thank you so much. Big shout out. Thank you. That's the kind of people they are at the Kush Gang. They're just solid, good people. Nice, good, decent, wonderful people. All right, so cheers to you, Kingsways. The king. So Chaotic Techno Wizard, aka the Peanut Gallery, asks, what do you call military charcuterie?
Tactical gear.
Snacktical gear? Oh my. Snacktical gear. I. Cheers. Wow. Snacktical gear. I'm stealing that.
Abort.
Oh, thank you, Kingsways. Thank you for the cheer. I think that was more for you. I think you earned that cheer. Snacktical gear. So, now that we've gotten the ad read out of the way, we are going to discuss, like I said, what's been going on in Trump's life. And it is chaos, folks. Absolute chaos. It is, I mean, just insane. Now, we have a whole list of stuff. And what we're gonna start with is, what we're gonna start with here is this, article from the HuffPost. Emails showed DeSantis administration blindsided local officials with, I'm gonna actually stop calling it that, with the Florida Detention Center, Immigration Detention Center, because giving it a cute name takes some of the teeth out of what it is. It's a concentration camp. It's not some.
I'm all for changing it to alligator Auschwitz and putting that in people's minds whenever they talk about it.
Whoa! Okay.
Different question.
Alligator Auschwitz. Yo. Okay.
Instead of that, AAA. Awful alligator Auschwitz.
Yes.
Awful alligator Auschwitz. Yeah. Wow.
No, what was the word you used earlier?
It was awful. Atrocious?
Abhorrent.
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 Abhorrent alligator Auschwitz.
You know, I'm not going to speak for the rest of the Jews in the world at the moment. But also, I feel like my people, due to the atrocious behavior of Israel, my people may not be so much allowed to take offense at random usages of Auschwitz, as long as it's in the correct with the correct perspective. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's calling this place what it is, which is a concentration camp.
Exactly. 5-second rule.
Oh.
You.
And for now, while it is pointing out the horrible situation that is, we're still hoping that using that term is a bit of hyperbole.
Yeah.
Gosh, we are hoping. And I hope that by talking about it, we're gonna make it, by everybody talking about it, not just us.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it harder for them to proceed. You know, the more light that is put on this and how awful this is, the harder it should be for them to go forward with it. I don't feel like the 5-second rule counts when it falls directly into a fluff ball of cat hair.
Depends on what it was, but generally speaking, no. Now it's the cats.
They're not gonna know. They don't get to eat the the infused Rice Krispie treat. No. 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 I'm just not gonna get my cats that high. I'm not gonna do it to the dog. I'm not gonna do it to the cats. And I also feel like because the Rice Krispie treat is a little sticky, a lot more gunk stuck to it. Which is sad because it's delicious.
Uh,
But it's okay
this,
because I have more.
oh, that's good. Peanut Gallery had to go answer the phones just so that you don't go asking him a question at the moment he's not here.
Okay. So, Peanut Gallery, who's on the phone?
He has left the room to go answer the phone.
No, I know. That was the joke. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let's get on with reading this. Florida state officials left many at the county level in the dark about shadowy immigration detention center in the Everglades, according to the emails.
Mm-hmm.
Emails obtained by the Associated Press show while relying on executive order to seize the land, hire contractors, and bypass laws and regulations. The emails show that local officials in Southwest Florida were still trying to chase down a rumor about the sprawling AAA facility
Right.
planned for their county while state officials were already on the ground sending vendors through the gates to coordinate construction of the detention center, which was designed to house thousands of migrants and went up in a matter of days.
Mm-hmm.
Not cool, one local official told the state agency director. Told the state agency director spearheading the construction. Not cool, I feel like, is an understatement there.
Yes.
The 100 plus emails dated June 21st to July 1st. Oh, wow, that's good. Dated June 21st to July 1st, obtained through a public records request, underscored the breakneck speed at which the governor's team built the facility and the extent to which local officials were blindsided by the plans for the compound of makeshift tents and trailers in Collier County, a wealthy majority Republican corner of the state that's home to white sand beaches and the western stretch of the Everglades. The executive order, originally signed by Republican governor in 2023 and extended since then, accelerated the project, allowing the state to seize county-owned land and evade rules in what critics have called an abuse of power. The order granted the state sweeping authority to suspend any statute, rule, or order seen as slowing the response to the immigration emergency. A representative for DeSantis did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Known as the Dade Collier Training Transition Airport, the airstrip is about 45 miles, 72 kilometers west of downtown Miami. It is located within Collier County, but is owned and managed by neighboring Miami-Dade County. The AP asked for similar records from Miami-Dade County, which is still processing the request.
Oh, it's taking longer to process the request than it did to build the plan in place.
I see that.
And how many emails went back and forth between, was it June 26th and the 1st of July?
I don't know. How many did they say in here?
Hundreds.
Hundreds?
Hundreds.
Wow.
That's what they have so far.
Oh, this says something right here. A citizen is asking about a proposed detention center in the Everglades. LaCastro wrote to the county manager, Amy Patterson, and other staff. Never heard of that. Am I missing something? I am unaware of any land use petitions that are proposing a detention center in the Everglades. I'll check with my intake team, but I don't believe any such proposal has been received by zoning. Oh, wow. So, yeah, it seems like this went up awfully quick.
Well, it did, because they technically had their base sort of kind of already made with the airport training facility that was there.
Yeah.
They just needed to install tents and stuff.
The trailers and tents.
Right.
Which shouldn't count for housing.
But they do, or they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now some of those rules that they've gotten around is they made changes to that airport structure, and they are in the middle of a protected wetland.
Oh. So not only are they being awful to people, but they're also being awful to animals. Hello, Alice. Right. Good to see you back. Thank you for being here. So yeah, they're doing everything they can to just be awful people in general.
Yeah.
Crimes against people and nature. Yeah, this sounds about like Trump.
Yeah. Now, I have seen some joking, but also some serious advertisements from various security firms requesting for people to move temporarily to take up jobs in that area. The postings are stating that you're posted somewhere else, but it's very clearly on the real ones, at least, that the plan is for you to go work and live on this base out in the middle of the Everglades.
You know, it might be a shame if a whole bunch of people who were absolutely not dedicated to that cause got jobs there and then just undermined the whole thing and took all their money.
That would also be a shame.
I'm not sure if that counts as fraud, though, so
I'm
not condoning it. Just because it might count as fraud. It would be a shame.
We're not condoning it. That's why it's a shame. You know, that's why we're saying that, to show how much we don't condone fraud like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fraud is still a felony, but it's a non-punishable crime if you just look at our president's record.
I mean, it's only non-punishable if you make enough money doing it.
This is true.
It's not a crime if it makes you rich. It's only a crime if you don't get rich doing it.
Or don't get rich enough fast enough.
Right. Or cross the wrong people to get rich.
Yes. Mr. Ponzi definitely got rich enough fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he started rich.
But still.
All right, I'm going to have to smoke a little before I go on to that brownie. And
So, yeah.
blowing through 1.5 of those treats is awful rich for me this early in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Although the calories don't count because infused calories don't count. Just remember that if you're on a diet, infused calories don't count. And that is also a part of my platform as I'm running for president in 2028. A vote for Trevor Stewart 1308 in 2028 is a vote for the dictator you deserve. Also, I will make sure that all infused calories don't count. You like the dictator you deserve?
All right, so question.
Mm-hmm.
Given the track record of various organizations that sell food and their predilection for setting up outside of dispensaries or in areas where they know people are going to be looking for infused treats.
Okay.
If smoke from the door blows over their table, does that count enough for your
No.
platform? Okay.
No. It has to have a measurable milligrammage within at least 1 milligram per calorie.
Okay.
No. At least 1 milligram per 10 calories. Alice goes, I like the platform, but how about a pony for everyone? I might still want for Vermin if that's not in the program. All right, a pony for everyone. Actually, we may have to go for a full-on horse. In the form of personal transportation, as we phase out gas cars, phase in electric cars, but mostly just for general transportation.
You can't do that. I wouldn't be able to take you seriously.
What?
Because you'd just be proving that you're just horsing around.
I never said I wasn't horsing around.
Yeah, and my argument is slightly
Plus,
more.
I think we should all have a Mustang. A Mustang in every garage. Well, okay,
All right,
a Palomino if you want.
My argument is technically you can do that because we have the national park system, which has on its lands herds of wild mustangs. So therefore, through the national park, we all technically have a pony or a horse.
Well, there you go. Then I will also support. I will not just support. I will up funding for national parks so that we can have more horses each. More protected area in the coastlines of North and South Carolina where the wild horses do run. So that we and Virginia, so that we may all have our own pony. Well, a part
We're
of
going to
pony.
increase funding for greater horsepower for the average person.
Yes.
Yes. Any car that gets 25 miles per gallon or better has to pay.
Yeah.
Well, let me back this up. Funny, since you speak of transportation, when you go to renew your vehicle registration, you will see a new highway use fee. Any car that gets 25 miles per gallon or better has to pay?
Yep.
Whoa! Oh, we're jumping right to the big, beautiful, Oh my goodness. $35. Okay, see, this is messed up now. Because this is putting a cap on gas mileage. That's actively damaging the environment. It's promoting... So... Well... Mother... Now I'm tempted to put more heavy stuff in the back of my car when I go to renew my registration, just so I can say, no, I get 24.9 gallons a mile or miles a gallon. Cause
Gallons a mile.
gallons a mile. Cause I get a 20, I get a steady 26. 26
Mm-hmm.
up to 28 if I'm not carrying anything in the back of the Blue Baru.
Honestly, knowing them, they're not going to take your word for it.
No, they won't.
I'll put it this way.
Thank you.
I
Thank you, Kingsways, for letting us know. You were saying?
I understand why they're doing it. They definitely could have gone a much better way about it. But considering how much road maintenance, budget comes from gas taxes, they have to offset it somehow. As I said, I understand why. There has to be a better way to do it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tax oil companies. Tax the.
Cut out all the holes for the people that are busy flying all over creation because they don't want to drive.
Yeah, also, I mean, well, okay, now, we could just leave air travel alone. Because
No.
after all of the cuts that have been made and all the problems it's having, people are going to stop flying. I cannot imagine people are just going to want to keep getting in airplanes if they keep not making it.
I mean specifically the people that own their own airplane or were just gifted an airplane.
Oh, they pay. They pay through the nose on taxes on that. If you want to, yeah, they...
No. If you are rich enough to be given an airplane from Qatar, you are not paying taxes.
No, I mean, in my if I were in charge, they'd be paying through the nose for that.
Exactly.
We are talking about my ideal platform here. We're not talking about what's real.
Ah.
Yeah. Alice suggests, how about provide public transit, which is much cheaper, space efficient, and infrastructure costs way less than road maintenance? See, I agree with that. I've been places where the public transit reaches up to 25 miles outside of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Up to more like 50 miles outside of the city. I don't know. I wasn't that far out of the city. All I know is I was in the middle of the country, walked outside to the edge of the road, waited half an hour, 15 minutes, and paid 50 cents to ride a bus into the city. It was like, this is amazing. And it wasn't even like a super long bus ride. Like, the bus ride was pretty straightforward into the city. They didn't take a lot of extra routes or whatever, which means they had several buses running out in that area to just randomly pick people up on the side of the road.
Oh, you mean like back in the 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Granted, this was in the early aughts, so gosh only knows what's happened since then.
Depending on where you were, the transit probably still functions. You just pay $5 instead of 50 cents.
Possibly. It would cause way too much to train the American public to use public transportation.
Yep.
Ow. Ow. Yes, public transportation. And that's why I then support everybody getting their own horse. It's for the recreational transportation. You know? You got public transport that goes everywhere. Or within, say, a quarter of a mile of anywhere. You know, the most you have to walk to get to a bus stop is a quarter of a mile, even in the most remote spots. I mean, unless you have a huge piece of property and live dead in the middle. Of course, if you're living dead, then I've got other jobs for you. But then to, you know, just go out and ride around, you take a horse. And see, this will get rid of all the drunk driving problems. We'll have drunk riding problems, but I mean, you strap yourself into the saddle and the horse pretty much knows where to go.
I would disagree with you there.
No, I'm making a callback to a scene in season 2 of Deadwood. As Calamity Jane, tied to her saddle, half asleep, mostly drunk, rides past the camera. Alice says, I lived in a city with excellent tram network. It was amazing. You step outside, the tram goes every 4 minutes. Takes you everywhere fast. Dodging all traffic and transferring lines is no problem because the trams go every 4 minutes. It's unimaginably good. I'm a big guy. Kingsway says, I'm a big guy. Can I get a Clydesdale? Yeah. Especially because little guys like me are going to want, you know, ponies. You'd be burning a lot of calories just climbing on and off.
Yep.
All that getting up and down.
Come on. Most Clydesdales are over 6 feet at the withers, at the shoulder, whatever you want to measure it at.
I think that sounds about right for Kingsways. He is a tall fellow, as well as being wide. A lot of Kingsway's size is in his upper body. He's very barrel chested. So I think and of course, from my height, anybody over like 5'10", everybody over 5'10" looks like they're about 6 or 7 feet tall. You know. So Kingsway says, I call it the Viking build. Yup. Definitely. The Viking build. He looks like he could definitely throw an axe through a shield. I'm calling dibs on Kingsways on the raiding parties.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to be the horrible producer and make you move on to the next article.
Of course. Man, okay, so since they did the update, they've changed where the open chat is.
Oh?
And now I keep struggling to find it. All right, so we are moving on to tariffs.
Yes. All right. Both of those tariffs kind of go together. The first article is more of a general what's currently or what's supposed to be enacted, and the second one is more of a commentary on one and its effects this week.
Okay. Well,
so you don't have to read the second one all the way through. It's just That's how
Okay.
they're there.
Well, Trump aims tariff double whammy at industries nations by August 1st. This is from Bloomberg. President Trump. Stay still. Thank you. President Trump is readying plans for industry-specific tariffs to kick in alongside his country-by-country duties in 2 weeks, ramping up his push to reshape the U.S. standings in global trading system by penalizing purchases from abroad. Yes. Looks like 50% could release details. The administration officials could release details of Trump's planned 50% duty on copper in the days before they're set to take effect August 1st, according to a person familiar with the matter. That's the same date so-called reciprocal levies on products from more than 100 nations are slated to begin. Trump said Tuesday he is likely to impose tariffs on pharmaceuticals by month's end, adding that important import taxes on semiconductors could come soon as well. One person familiar with the process said after copper, Trump's team has discussed making announcements on lumber, chips, critical minerals, and drugs in that order, though that cadence has not been finalized and may change. Now, I'd like to bring up that if he's planning tariffs on pharmaceuticals, that's going to bring our pharmaceutical costs up even further. And that's not going to encourage pharmaceutical companies to drop their prices, is it?
Mm-mm.
That's not
No.
the way economic math works. So what he's doing is effectively raising the price of pharmaceuticals, of drugs, which is what he said he was going to combat in his blank promises.
False promises?
Campaign promises. I mean, same thing.
What's that?
Same thing. But that's still, he promised in his campaign, he promised to bring down prescription drug prices.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds like oh my God, this is delicious. This sounds like the opposite of that. It is really hard to be upset about something when you're eating a delicious brownie.
That's kind of why we chose to do this as a We the People, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. So would you call this economic administration a group of terror rifts? I'm going to let you sit with what you did wrong there, Peanut Gallery. Because I actually think it's hilarious. I just know you should feel ashamed for that one.
Why?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I figured you'd have the answer for that, for the why.
No.
No?
I see several things both right and wrong with that, and so I'm just leaving it as a null summation and it's worth calling those things.
You're saying it's a wash.
Yes.
Like a reaver put their spear through it.
No. Now you've gone the wrong way.
I'm sorry.
And every...
That's not true. That is not true at all.
What?
Oh,
He got
It was-
impaled by part of the building.
What?
into the ship.
He got impaled by part of the building from the crash landing.
I thought he got one of the magnetic spears went through him.
Either way, it's still too soon.
And all Firefly and Serenity fans hate both of us right now. Alice says, so Donald Trump lied? I'm shocked. I'm shocked and surprised. He's such an upstanding, truth-telling guy. I didn't see that coming. He's so truthsome that he's made truth social.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Well, raising the cost of living, as well as raising the cost of living. General info on okay, this is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Chinese graphite is crucial to electric car batteries. Trump just put a 93.5% tariff on it. Graphite powder and powder made from nickel, copper, and magnesium, which are used to make lithium-ion batteries. The Trump administration is imposing a substantial tariff on a raw material that is critical for electric vehicle batteries, which could significantly raise the cost of building EVs in the United States. All of a sudden, I'm starting to think that Trump is doing all of this EV stuff to Elon. Not really for any other reason.
Kind of hard not to think that when they've been arguing for a bit.
Mm-hmm. I think that Trump put a lot of this stuff in the big beautiful bill just because he felt like Elon was taking up too much air.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to deflate him a little. Elon turned around like a petulant child and said some things about Trump. And Trump was like, all right, I'm just going to cut you off at the knees.
Yep.
And you're not going to, no more EVs in America. Or a gas guzzling country again.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is awful. The Commerce Department announced a 93.5% tariff on graphite Thursday, accusing the country of dumping the raw material in the United States below the market price. The decision was hailed by domestic graphite producers who say Chinese producers dominate the market and keep American companies from getting off the ground. Raw graphite is relatively cheap, costing less than $2 per pound. Chinese imports into the United States more than doubled over 2 years, hitting $347 million in 2023. According to the most recent Commerce Department data available, But domestic producers haven't been marketing graphite of the purity needed to build EV batteries, according to testimony from Tesla during the investigation into the tariffs. Mike O'Cronley, CEO of Wow, that's a heck of a name. CEO of US-based graphite producer Novonix said the tariff will help increase investment and production in the domestic industry. Yeah, but that doesn't sound like he's saying that it's going to make the purity go up. This is going to be very transformative for the graphite industry in the United States, he told CNN Friday. Manufacturers in China have really overinvested, and they have a lot of additional capacity, so they are exporting a lot of that volume. It's hampering the development of the U.S. critical minerals. I understand the United States' desire to be self-sufficient, but on the other hand, do we really have to be? Like, isn't global trade good for the global economy, good for everybody?
Oh, now you're talking like a globalist. That's dangerous talk right there.
Oh yeah, I'm
Plus,
sorry, I forgot I am a globalist.
if you are using an ingredient that you cannot make for yourself, and you need that ingredient to make whatever it is that you're building, then you need to get it from where you get it.
Just saying.
Last I checked, the U.S. does not grow cinnamon, do we?
Not well, not easily.
We don't grow vanilla.
No, but we have beavers, and beavers have glands that produce vanillin.
We have found ways around, but
No, but is the way we found around. Beaver butt, specifically. Somehow it doesn't make me less likely to use fake vanilla.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Just in cooking alone, things that we eat regularly that are not produced in the U.S. are huge.
Yeah.
And there's a great number of them that we can't actually produce here.
Yes.
Last I checked, do we grow coffee?
Yes.
Yes.
Not much,
We grow,
but it's starting to get more. Starting to be more. Because of climate change, and this is the only good thing about climate change, because of climate change, the U.S. can start growing its own coffee.
F coffee.
F you?
Sorry, you're not my type.
Well, you're not coffee's type.
all right, so that out of the way now. There are things that we cannot make ourselves. There's things that we cannot make ourselves very well at all.
Right.
And there's things that we can make, but we can't make enough of it for ourselves because there's no way we are able to produce enough coffee for all of us.
But we do have other things that we do produce in abundance. Enough for us. And other people. Hold on, I need to get to Alice's comments real quickly because her last comment has relevance. Even if you can produce something domestically, if the cost of doing it is higher than abroad, it's better to get the thing from abroad. and focus on producing the things you're good at producing. Exactly. You know, aside from if we don't have a global economy, then it's going to make me taking over the globe a lot more difficult. As soon as we do realize that we do already have a global economy, that we are really part of this global economy, like, as soon as we realize that, we can get our own economy back in good working order. We can do the things needed to make the deals that will have what is supposed to be healthy competition in a free market, although it never is actually. But it will also give the opportunity for things to be distributed to the places that it's needed most.
Mm.
Now, again, I'm not saying that a free market economy is going to make this possible or even probable, because capitalism consumes all in its way. But, at the very least, we may be able to have a balanced market economy. Somewhere between a free market, you know, an unregulated capitalism and an absolute absolute communitarianism with no economy. Although absolute communitarianism with no economy, with no economic inequalities being the driving force behind behaviors, I'm good with that. I'm good with that sort of utopian Star Trek ideal. And the important thing that Alice said was, tea is so much better than coffee. There, I said it. Kat says, I absolutely agree. I drink mine hot with sugar and milk. And I disagree. I disagree. I think that coffee is marginally better. I prefer coffee to tea, marginally so. And I like my coffee like my soul. Cold, bitter, and blackened. Oh, my blackened soul. I'm sorry, tea is just not very gothic. It's just not very, like, internal suffering. It's cozy. Tea just feels good.
How is drinking hot leaf juice not suffering?
Says the dwarf to the elf.
How is drinking neon green?
Acid.
Yes, sugar-flavored acid. Any more delicious than leaf water?
I'm drinking my caffeine the way it's meant to be, artificial.
Plutonium juice. You're drinking plutonium juice. I drink my caffeine the way it's meant to be drank.
My man's running 8 miles an hour. Watch out!
Yep. I knew where that was going.
I do. I actually, I think I used to do my caffeine the best way. That's in 5-hour energy shots. Quick, straight to the head.
Mm. Yes.
I'm drinking plutonium water. If I hit 88 miles an hour, watch out, because I already have that acid reflux capacitor.
Ha! Yes, but you'll only be going back in time as far as your last meal. And only long enough to get a good visual of it again. Okay,
Moving on to the next article.
yep. So, now moving on to, and I really didn't expect us to do a full on, okay. I really didn't expect us to do a full on report on this one. I just wanted to bring up that, our president, while supporting Ukraine, oh, all these coffee snobs telling me I need to have fancy coffee press machine and fresh beans and stuff. Nonsense. I'm just eating coffee grounds from the Starbucks dumpster with my hands like a... Yes! Yes, Alice. Yes, I am right there with you. I drink instant coffee. I drink store brand instant coffee. Being a viewer counter. Thank you, Chris in the 386. Good to see you. I met somebody IRL, told them that I drank instant coffee by choice, and they said, "Oh yeah? How long were you in for?" It's like, ow. Ow. I mean, a month? Hey, Dr. Gotis, great to see you too. The Brocconcino to my instant coffee. All right. So back to our back to that guy in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a brief moment, I thought, okay, he's gonna do something good here. He's finally turned the corner, and he's supporting Ukraine, and he's gonna sell the weapons to NATO. He's just doing it to make a buck.
Yep.
And, like, I don't think his rage at Putin is necessarily manufactured, because Putin has been sort of thumbing his nose at Trump, and that does not sit well with Trump.
Oh.
But I also don't think, I don't think he viewed this war on Ukraine as an inherently negative thing. He's been looking for business opportunities this whole time. It's been a chance for him to tell other NATO members they need to step up their game. It's been a chance for him to then, after doing all this convincing of other NATO members, especially Germany, to spend money on their army, he's like, oh, but buy our stuff for your army. And he's just done a classic, like, U.S. advertising maneuver of making everybody fear-mongering, setting up a situation where everybody feels scared, feels insecure, and then sells them the cure. I'm not saying that Trump has been in bed with Putin this whole time, but it sure feels like Putin's war on Ukraine has been quite opportune for Trump. It's been good for him politically throughout almost this entire time. Even when people have been like, but you said it would end so quickly,
Mm-hmm.
you said it would end so quickly, and Trump's like, yeah, but I've been trying to give diplomacy and peace an opportunity, and no, you've just been playing it out for time. The funny part is, Peanuts Gallery says, the funny part is that it took him this darned long to realize how Poutine actually looked at him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like, Trump's not viewed as a strong man. He's viewed as a slightly dangerous, slightly unhinged, but easily manipulated child. He's being so I feel like Trump's just beginning to get the joke. He's just beginning to see the problems, and he's just beginning to see the cracks in the foundations of what he's tried to do. And he's getting flustered and upset. And I don't think it helps that he may not be in the best health. The baby Trump balloons, yeah, the baby Trump balloons. That is exactly right. I'd forgot about those. Ukraine arms deal. Oh, and then one of the other things I wanted to bring up, something else that goes along with this is his threat to fire Jerome Powell, and how that, that would have been if we have a Fed chair that is subservient to the president, if we don't have an absolutely and strongly independent Fed, then the ability for our economy to set the standard begins to erode very quickly. It is the independence of the Federal Reserve from any political party or any government intervention that allows the US dollar to be so secure that it can set the global standard for an economy. That's what's kept us where we are in the global hegemony. In the global hegemony. We stayed at the top because of this very fundamental separation of our money from our government.
So you bring this up, and that reminds me of the best thing that Trump has done thus far.
What's that?
He appointed Jerome Powell.
Yep.
Even though he's constantly saying that Powell was a Biden appointee because he's not agreeing with him anymore. But
Biden didn't fire Powell. Biden didn't fire Powell. There's a difference there. I feel like Jerome Powell... No, I'm not. I get what you're saying. Trump did this. Trump put Powell there, and that's a good thing. Well, I'm still waiting to see if I think it's a good thing. If he can land this economy safely, as he was on track to do before Trump came back in and messed it all up, I will have faith in Powell. At the moment, he's doing a fine job, but I can look at what he did And at the time, I saw what he was doing. I saw when he was slow to raise interest rates when it was needed. And he was slow to raise interest rates because he is essentially a conservative, a fiscal conservative. By definition, meaning not doing things quickly, taking his time and not doing them quickly. And while I think that that is a good thing most of the time, there are times in the economy when an immediate response is required. When you know you are in the beginnings of the downturn, when you know that if you don't raise those interest rates, that the inflation is going to continue to rise. When you know it in your heart, don't wait for the numbers. Do what you know is right when you know it's right. And he, as much as has said, he knew it would have been the right thing to do, but he's a conservative and felt the need to wait and see first. I'm not saying I dislike Powell. And I am agreeing with you that that's probably the best thing that Trump did. But I'm also pointing out that Powell is not the savior that people might have hailed him as.
No.
I was not intending to put that as the meaning of that at all. I am just saying that while no one is perfect, I will not claim that he has done the absolute best job. Because I'm not an economist, I'm not going to follow that stuff close enough to be able to say with any certainty. But the fact that he has been so adamant about remaining separate, independent, and fact-based,
Yes.
as opposed to bending to whomever's whim
Right.
or suggestion.
Right. He's taken his job as the chair of the Fed. And all of the members of the Federal Reserve, by the way, all of them have taken their jobs very seriously and done absolutely what they have to maintain the dominance of the dollar, to maintain its stability. Alice just said, yeah, but have you considered that what you just said is woke? Ha! Checkmate, liberal. Dang it. I think they're all taking their job seriously, which is great. It's very important. I think that the stability of the US dollar is important currently. No, it's important currency. Yeah. Huh? It is important currently. Until... No, important currency is the currency that's keeping your lights on at the moment. That was awful. Anyway, and in the background, I can hear me screaming F off. I lost my train of thought.
Hooray.
Maintaining the stability of the dollar. Oh. So, the other thing I wanted to point out here is Trump says Trump responded, well, the markets responded to Trump threatening to fire Powell, right? and understandably so. The market got very scared that the dollar was gonna drop because, you know, that threatened it. So the markets drop, and I'm pretty sure that that's like the only language that Trump can understand anymore is line go down. And predictably, he actually understood line go down bad and is now like, oops, I'm sorry, I am highly unlikely to fire Jerome Powell. That was just a joke. It's like,
The
I
only
just,
time that he gets to say that is when he's looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
yeah. I do think, you know, it's good that he is able to be reasoned with by the market. That means that there is somebody getting through to him. There's something that gets through to him. He's not just heck bent on this idea, on this course that he has set. And I think that that's starting to come through a bit more in the other things that are going on. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, this is Gabbard accusing Obama of treason.
Yep.
And then we've got Trump's health, Epstein, the Epstein effect, and
Fun stuff.
okay, and fun stuff. Well, to this effect, I wanted to talk about the Epstein effect. I guess we'll do that first. Then we'll get onto Gabbard and Trump's health.
Honestly, I would start with the health first because that leads directly into the Epstein one.
I was okay. Well, I wanted to go from this into Epstein because it is it's another example of how things are falling apart around him and how his base is falling apart.
Like I said, the health one leads directly into that.
I was going to go the other
Because
direction.
you never ever hear him talk about his health as being other than awesome and great.
The best.
Yes.
Why else would he suddenly make this announcement?
Well, I don't think that's I think the announcement is damage control.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's forced to make the announcement. I think that the Epstein effect is actually affecting his health. I think that the falling apart of his base as the things like the markets behaving in ways that he doesn't think they should.
Okay.
Counterintuitively to him. I mean, he's still listening to them, but he's having to take a reprimand from the only voice he listens to, which is the market. And taking that hit from the market, I think that is. I think between that and the fact that he's tried so hard now to brush the Epstein situation under the rug. He's tried so hard to be like, nothing to see here. We're not gonna, you don't need to see any more of this information. It's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger and it's gone. And unfortunately, the Nothing Burger left egg on his face, so now even people like me, who would normally not want to entertain a Nothing Burger like that, want to see all the gory details because it leaves egg on his face. I don't think there's an Epstein client list. I doubt very seriously that there was a whole lot of really super shady stuff going on the island or on the airplane. I'm sure there was some super shady stuff going on. Obviously, there was human trafficking. I have no idea who was involved and who wasn't, and I'm not going to bother putting out suppositions about it. Even though it's really tempting to go, oh man, Trump bought his wife from Epstein. I'm not gonna, I have nothing to prove there. I have no way of proving that. There is no there for me to prove. Even if it is there, there's no there for me to prove. I doubt there's documentation. I doubt Epstein was such a bad criminal that he left a trail of breadcrumbs. I do believe he did the dangle dance to himself in his cell. I think that the fact that Trump and so many of his cronies ran so hard on there being a there, that now that there isn't, it's really embarrassing for them. But if they would up and show open everything up to show their base, allow their rabid base to see everything, be involved in everything.
It ain't gonna help them.
I don't think it's enough. I think these people are enough on the Kool-Aid, on the conspiracy Kool-Aid, that they will make conspiracy theories fit. I think just the mere delay of giving out all of the information has damaged Trump's relationship with his base. It's damaged his credibility. It's starting to erode. The way he went about responding to this last week's announcement that there was no client list. The fact that he thought he could just tell his base to move on. The guy's been dead for years now. Why are we still talking about him? That hand waving really upset his base. Now you could see Tucker Carlson starting to turn on MAGA-dom. Oh God, who did he? Was it Steven Crowder who he interviewed and ate alive, or was it Jordan Peterson? Somebody, Tucker Carlson interviewed somebody and just kind of ate them alive. I think it was over something anti-Semitic, and then this happened, and now that little troll pops his head up again and starts going, this isn't what I voted for, this isn't the... And when he starts any drumbeat like that, he's gonna have a whole bunch of mini little cuckers just marching along behind him in Tarl time, you know. I'm seeing his. This is really making me think that he's losing his standing, and that I think is what's affecting his health. And I think his health going downhill is sort of. I think
Ah, shit.
what?
But
Oh, it's just a terrible joke that I have to say now.
oh
Okay.
no,
So you're telling me Trump is Tinkerbell? Fewer people believe in him, the less healthy he is?
Yes.
hate you.
I don't believe in Trump. I don't believe in Trump. I don't believe in Trump. Quick, nobody ring a bell. Alice says, whether Epstein did or didn't Minecraft himself is so irrelevant. It's like that part is important for anything. If he had stuff implicating other people, whether he Minecrafted himself changes nothing. I agree. I agree. I'm pretty sure that I'm willing to go that he wasn't even convinced to Minecraft himself. I think he did it because he just didn't want to face the being him. Speaking of health, Clinton was elected in 1992, and he's younger than both Biden and Trump. Clinton was elected in 92. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, God, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
That is perspective. And you know, Clinton was not in great health. I did not eat that cheeseburger. It depends on what the definition of cheeseburger is. Let's let's read this fun article about Trump's health. Tie it back into Trump's eroding base. I think what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying, Kat, is that he is announcing that he has health problems right now because it takes attention away from all of the other stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I think that
Um.
I think you may be a little right with that as well. Trump's new. Were you? I'm sorry. Were you going to say something else?
Just to say that it's a pattern that he has established over the past several years.
Oh no, things aren't going my way. Just
Yeah.
gotcha!
Yeah.
Yep.
Um.
Smoke bomb.
As someone else stated, I would rather go back to worrying about the clowns suddenly appearing everywhere mysteriously.
I mean, that's fair. Can't sleep, clowns will eat me. 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 President Donald Trump has a fondness for boasting about his pristine physical and mental health. It's so good. So good. I hate doing a Donald Trump impression. I feel so dirty after doing it. And has a knack for finding doctors to back him up. Showing off his
Exactly.
bill of health typically gives Trump the ego boost he needs to deter anyone from suggesting he's not in the vision of perfect fitness. However, during his second presidency, the facade is beginning to slip. In early 2025, Trump's medical report revealed a skin condition that could possibly explain his use of bronzer. But by the summer, many had begun to notice other things causing concern. When Trump's aging hands got everyone talking, he finally went to see a doctor and received a diagnosis that might not be making the splash he was hoping for. According to a memo from the White House physician, Trump was diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency, a fairly common condition amongst the elderly that can cause swelling in the lower limbs and can lead to more complicated health issues if not properly treated. Yeah, sure. I mean, yes, it could. I'm not saying that about the disease. I'm saying that is not feeling like chronic venous insufficiency is when you can't pump the blood back out of your extremities. And while I could believe that his heart is not near strong enough anymore, especially after all the crap he's put it through, and never exercising, I do believe that could be part of it, but I also don't know that it is that simple. While all of this might sound serious, it's basically not alarming information. Dr. Jeremy Faust told CNN about this diagnosis. This is a pretty normal part of aging, Dr. Faust continued. What's a bit strange, however, is that White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt seems to have encouraged the announcement. For a president who's been so cagey about keeping up appearances around his health, it feels a bit jarring to have this information so publicly displayed. In fact, many online are saying the same thing about this revelation. It's a distraction from the fallout around Trump's failure to release more information on Jeffrey Epstein. Let's see, this is this anybody other than MSN? Like, who's the, and
there were a bunch. Just MSN had had one that wasn't AWOL or counting how many times you clicked on the link. But they all had basically the same.
Is this Associated Press or?
Hang on, which one's that? That's the health one.
Yeah. Oh, we should briefly talk about this too.
Nick Swift.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what that what their leanings might be. So I don't know.
Why are we sorry now?
What?
Nothing.
Oh dear.
I am I'm just going not. Well, okay, so I think that
you should be sorry for that one.
I don't want to know. Never mind. I'm not going to ask questions.
You're gonna have to read it later because he sent it to you.
Why am I doing this?
Basically, it made you morbidly curious.
See?
I'm saving that joke for the stand-up as well.
Yep.
That goes in the stand-up. Yep. I think he may have some more serious stuff going on than his
He probably does.
insufficient blood flow issues. I think that that's a symptom of something larger going on. Wow, look at, you can really see there how he doesn't know how to blend.
Mm. He probably does have something more serious going on, and so releasing this and being all both really forward but also kind of cagey with it is trying to shift attention away from something else.
Yeah.
Probably going on with Epstein, but it's also probably trying to shift attention away from what's really going on health-wise, as a case of, I told you about that. If I told you about that, don't you think I'd have told you about something else? No,
Right.
no, we don't.
Right. So
And
I
honestly,
do.
for a man that's been dealing with TV and beauty pageants forever and a day, he really should be able to blend better.
You're right. He should, or at least have somebody on his team who can do it. Like, that's what I don't get.
Isn't there a gentleman that installed a makeup parlor,
Right?
in close accessibility, that they could help him?
Right? I'm just saying, like, or does he just have a bowl of bronzer that he sticks his face in?
Maybe.
I think that's how he does it. He doesn't even bother to apply it. He just sticks his face in it.
After putting one of those tanning bed binds on.
I
think so. So, okay.
We've made it through all of the serious things now.
Wow, that was a shift in tone.
This goes to show he can't blend very well.
So, now, on the more fun side of things, no wonder everybody's getting prawn flavored everything in England. It's because prawns are flavored like everything. Researchers find cocaine in every single shrimp tested in England's waterways. In addition to cocaine, researchers found ketamine, Xanax, Valium, as well as pesticides and other harmful consumer products.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. I came across that, and my first thought was, oh, we're gonna have mantis shrimp on coke, or worse, we're gonna have messed up mantis shrimp.
Oh my god, that sounds awful. Oh my god. Okay, mantis shrimp, for those of you who don't know, they're the shrimp who can punch with more power than I believe you can get from like a bullet. And they punch at the speed of a bullet. Don't they? Like it's
They punch with more power than a 22 caliber bullet. And part of this is their limb moves so fast that it causes what is known as hypercavitation, flash boiling and creating a vacuum space under the ocean where it has punched.
yep.
Yep.
And there is actually a flash of light that goes along with flash cavitation. It's pretty neat. I've seen
They're
it.
pretty. They're very pretty shrimp. They're very colorful.
Yes, but they
And if you want to
also
know more about the mantis shrimp, just look up the oatmeal mantis shrimp.
Yes.
I'm leaving it alone. I don't want to know.
Oh,
I'm just
yes,
saying,
you do.
Yeah, you
Amanda,
do.
no, I don't.
You do.
No, I don't. I'm not
The
saying
cat agrees with you.
I'm not saying that I'm afraid of mantis shrimp, but I sure do find them creepy.
Which is why I would find the idea of a messed up mantis shrimp even worse.
Terrifying. It's terrifying. I could just see myself having my toe punched off by one of those. Just because it wanted more meth. It's like, no, man, no. Thank you. I will stick with the Coke Sharks. I feel a lot safer with the Coke Sharks.
I don't know. If you end up being the supplier for the meth mantis shrimp, it can protect you from the coke sharks.
I don't need protecting from the Coke Sharks.
We just don't go in the ocean. We're fine.
No,
Well,
you're
then-
absolutely fine with the Coke Shark. Because cocaine is an appetite suppressant. And sharks aren't violent unless they're hungry.
All right, fair point.
Sharks are the kind of cokeheads that you find sitting next to you at the bar, buying you around so they can just keep talking to you. A coked up
you're
shark
saying that
is going to be
saying
more
that the
like a
shark
really
is the physical
hyperactive golden
manifestation-
retriever. What are you saying now?
You're
I'm
saying
sorry.
that the shark is just a physical manifestation of being hangry.
Our
Regular
fear
shark, yes.
of sharks. Our fear of sharks is a manifestation of hangry. Sharks are not really like that at all. Sharks are not dangerous. They're not mean. If you treat them with respect, because do remember you're entering their habitat. I mean, they're not likely to attack you. They're likely to run away from you. Or be curious and come up and try and hang out with you. Fun fact, humans are more closely related with goldfish than sharks are, so if you want to create a definition of fish that includes both goldfish and sharks, then it has to include humans as well. I like that. Although, what about gill breathers? What if you don't make a definition based on genetics, but just a definition based on morphology, based on biomechanics, even?
Well, that would go along with the roly-poly discussion from the other day.
It would. They breathe with gills.
They breathe with gills.
They are gill
Or
breathers.
just the simple existence of the platypus.
What?
Or just the simple existence
Platypus.
of the platypus.
The platypus is just a middle finger either to God or from God. I'm not sure which. And by God, I mean all of them. The gods. Multiple.
I think the platypus was the specific middle finger for Australia because we have the giraffe elsewhere and we have the echidna. We have several other animals of question of the koala.
Yeah, but none as confused and confusing as the platypus.
We have the mantis shrimp. That's the one for the ocean.
Yeah.
On to the next terrible story.
Thank you.
I forget what I put after that. I know what the very last one I put was. I forget what I put after that.
Peruvian man arrested with 800-year-old mummy claims it's his spiritual girlfriend.
Yeah, yes.
We've watched Corpse Bride, but this is ridiculous.
Yep.
Love is blind, they say. When you find the one to grab, hold on to your heart. When you find the one to grab hold of your heart, it doesn't matter who they are. Yeah, and age is just a number. In her case, a 3-digit number. With all that
it gets
said,
better.
if your beloved has been dead for the past few hundred years, you probably should look for someone fresher. Ew. Just ew. There's no way to say that and not feel gross.
Yep.
This bizarre case that faces the authorities in Peru. This is the bizarre case that faces authorities in Peru. A couple of years ago, the country's police arrested Julio Cesar Bermejo, who was spotted carrying a suspicious large bag. There was reason to take him in because inside the bag was his spiritual girlfriend. That is to say, he was carrying a mummy estimated to be up to 800 years old. Okay, first off, I feel like somebody has to say it. Don't date your mummy. That's just gross.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you. I've been trying to wrap my head around how to get a joke similar to that in there, and thank you.
You're welcome. It was actually pretty easy. Unlike his mummy! I don't feel good about that last one.
That's okay. Keep reading.
Okay. Yet, to Bermejo, their relationship was as good as real. After all, he'd been living with the mummy, which he called Juanita, for the past 3 decades. It seems his closest associates had accepted the outlandish relationship as well. After all, he was carrying the mummy because his friends had wanted to see it. However, researchers evaluating the mummy had to break some shocking news to Bermejo. Turns out that when his dearest still had fresh blood and a beating heart, he was a man. Alright, so he was Juan. I mean, no. He may not have been a man. He may have had man parts. He may have had man parts, but she might still have been a Juanita, not a Juan.
Yes.
It's okay.
See, suddenly my mind's going straight D&D on this. Mummy rot.
Yep.
Why? Why? On the that's
Because
Alice. Alice says on the flip side, lungfish and eels also don't have gills. Kat says, "Ooh, so many ways to reclassify things." Alice says, "The only way to have a somewhat consistent definition is to say aquatic vertebrates, vertebrates. But in that case, you also have to include whales and dolphins." I don't think of lungfish and eels as being fish. I think of eels as being something else. Something different. Closer to a reptile than a fish. Lungfish, I think of them as being... I don't know. But I don't think of them as actually being fish. I think of the fish part as being a misnomer.
it's going to end up coming back to it's a blue water thing. It's a green water thing. It's a red thing that lives in the water. Because we're going to figure out how interconnected and how different things are from how they were originally classified and lose our minds and just go back to it's red and it lives in the water. That's what it is. It's a red water thing.
Alice says, "Do you think that salamanders are fish? They do have gills." And yes, salamanders and axolotls are fish.
His legs.
Yes.
They're fish.
They're that
legs.
step between fish and eel. And somehow with legs.
Well, they have to have legs if they're the step between.
Ah, I knew it was coming somewhere.
I can't believe I didn't. I said it, and I can't believe I didn't see that.
That's
I
usually
need
how
to
that
clean my
goes.
glasses. I need to clean my glasses. That's what it is. My glasses are dirty. That's why I didn't see it. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you saying something? I couldn't hear you. I'm not wearing my glasses.
Well, in any case, you really just stepped into that one.
Hmm?
All right. Now I can hear you again. I mean, I do take your point, Alice. I do. I have a tendency to be okay with things that are sort of on the fringe fitting into classifications. And I think that fish and amphibians have overlap. That amphibians are kind of a type of fish. Not all fish are amphibians, but amphibians kind of are a type of fish. And that does extend to frogs and toads that were at one point in their life cycle very fish-like, though they aren't now. At one point in their life cycle, they were fish, and now they have metamorphized into not fish. But I also feel like, species is a social construct, so transspecies is kind of, understandable. I firmly believe that, Alice says, I firmly believe that whales should count as fish. I can go with it. I mean, there should be there should be this sort of fish mammal in between, and that's what whales and dolphins and that are. We could just go with water. Yeah, but that's too broad. Just water dwellers, that's too broad. That
Well,
that takes all the fun out of it.
no, because then you get to try to figure out, you get to figure out all the puns that go along with that.
I mean, that would mean all sailors are water dwellers.
I mean,
Especially if they serve on a submarine.
And who wants to say the bad joke? We all know it.
Nope. This one's not on me.
I need to
I
send
saw
that
it
to
now
the
that I
link.
see where you're going with this. And no, I'm not endorsing it. Plankton, algae, bacteria. Bacteria are not fish. That is a good point, Alice. Also, water dwellers does include a lot of, and all of these, all the microbes that would be, that are definitely not fish of some type. Phytoplankton, not fish. Once you say
What was
water
that?
dwellers, you have to include all the plant life, too, because it is life. So at that point, yeah, see, this is just too broad. It's...
Would you like to go on to the next story?
No, I think I'm going to continue complaining about how way too broad that is for a second. No, we can move on now. I'm just saying, it's... Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to not keep too many tabs open. Because I can feel my my thing slowing down, my processor trying to slow down. Woman flooded with calls about non-existent cat due to a t-shirt. Woman's number listed without permission on American Lost Cat t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a random... Just, so much to unpack there. Is that... Back to the fish for just 1 second. Alice says, I'm in favor of being inclusive, but harvesting seaweed counting as fishing is where I draw the line. Well played. Well played. Well played. We'll reel it in there.
We've caught the limit for the day.
I feel like we really have. Any more than that, and the game warden's gonna take our equipment away. So this aren't there rules about not putting real phone numbers on merchandise and stuff? Like, can't she sue for harassment? Isn't there some sort of... Like, isn't that why they have the 555 numbers?
Yes and no. The biggest problem is that this is an international thing.
Okay. So, well, care about Lincoln. Okay, so this is an international thing. I mean, I get
If I
that.
read
British
it,
Columbia. Wait.
it's still
Yeah, no.
international.
No, that shouldn't stop it. The company's still based in the US. The company still has to abide by US rules, by US laws. And one of those laws is you don't list real phone numbers on random pieces of merch. Like, you don't list phone numbers that you're
That don't
not
belong.
or that you don't have permission to list, to show.
Honestly, as
It's
far as that goes, I'm
doxing.
not sure.
It is doxing. That is a form of doxing. She has been doxed. Like, again, that's why the 555 numbers exist. Specifically, okay, have a great day, Kingsways. I hope the Canna Market goes great. Y'all have some good sales. I am looking forward to picking up a t-shirt next week. I'm looking forward to picking up t-shirts next week.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having some Kush Gang like actual merch, so that I can actually get a receipt for it and submit it as promotional materials.
Non-edible merch.
Oh, hey, Just Me Crystal, great to see you. Yeah, non-edible merch. Well, also, I can actually claim it as a business expense because it's not covered under certain federal regulations
Right.
that make it so that banks won't accept certain things as legitimate business expenses,
Mm-hmm.
which is, yeah, why I ran into a whole problem of couldn't take a credit card. Anyway, uh, I mean, this is, I guess, a cute story, but it's also so much weird stuff to this.
The thing is that it happens a lot. There's a whole lot of putting down the wrong phone number, putting down the wrong phone number either by accident because it's one digit off or whatever. So,
Yeah, but phone numbers in the 555 area code don't exist. Like, I think that's why every fake phone number starts with 555. So this right here, the 604 area code, the fact that they put on a 604 and not a 555. See, if it was a 654, I'd be like, okay, they were off by one digit, two out of the three places. I guess I could see it. But this isn't a mistake. This is using the wrong thing. I was about to ask why the numbers in chat, but I'm not going to. I don't want to know.
8675409.
Dang it. I knew I didn't want to know.
It was
Eight
supposed to be a
six
separate line
seven
for each one,
five
but for
three
some,
oh nine. What?
it was supposed to be a separate line for each one, but for some reason it grouped them.
Huh. That was a real phone number.
Yeah.
And he really probably wasn't supposed to do that, but that was pre-doxing laws.
Oh, that was before the 555 was invented.
Yeah.
I think so. And that might have been one of the reasons why 555 was invented. I'm not sure, but it wouldn't surprise me. Levoix, the person whose phone number was showed, said they would like a real apology from the company and feel like they deserve a t-shirt after this.
Or the cat.
They have a cat. They don't want the other cat.
Oh, you say that like you can never have enough cats. Jesus, why do you gotta keep putting stuff in? Thought we were getting close. Oh, we are close to the end. Just two more. These are all
Yes.
GIFs.
I have not kept putting stuff in.
I have put a few things in response to what's been said. Unfortunately, I can't put those in Twitch, so that's where I drop them.
That's fair. One peacock captured and one still on the loose in Pennsylvania. Authorities and animal rescuers in Pennsylvania's Buck County said they're still searching for one of the two loose peacocks spotted wandering in the area. Doylestown Township Police issued an alert Tuesday informing local residents that two peacocks had been seen in the area of Theodore Way and Sandy Ridge Road. Wow. Okay. On the lab.
So if a peacock's on loose, is that in decent exposure?
Good question. Probably.
No. It's fabulous exposure.
Right.
I'm surprised we even got one, to be honest. Peacocks are so difficult to catch. Samson Metzger, Pocono Wildlife's lead avian specialist, told WPVI TV. Metzger said peacocks are fast runners and can fly for up to a mile depending on altitude and weather conditions. He said the peacocks are believed to have been pets that either escaped or were abandoned by their owners.
So, where does he work again?
Pocono Wildlife. You know, it's that place that's against human-animal relations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I could point that out to you.
I hate you. I hate you right now because not only did I say it twice, I went ahead and made the joke.
You're welcome.
Book of no wildlife is a bad idea. They get very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really hate you right now. Especially because I'm still laughing at it.
Right.
All right, last one.
Right.
Reported person stuck in California canal turns out to be blow up doll. Okay. It says listen to this article. So we're gonna watch this. I can see the seams from here. Oh, I feel so bad for the officers who got called out to that. Just because getting there, they must have thought somebody was actually in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's better than finding a body in the river, just sort of stuck on the pylon. That's so much better than finding a dead body. But like, also that feeling of like, oh my god, maybe I have to get there quick because they might still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's also kind of funny. It's kind of really funny. All right, according to legalclarity.org, in the United States, while no federal statute specifically addresses the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, provides a framework for privacy protections. State laws complement federal regulations, with many states enacting privacy statutes that prohibit disseminating personal data without consent. These laws vary, with some offering more robust protections and remedies than others.
One of your biggest factors that they note is the relationship between you and whoever spread that information.
Okay.
If it was someone that you know, like your lawyer, or someone that you do business with, like your local bookstore, um, or whoever that you actually have a relationship with, and they're supposed to not spread your information, they face a higher penalty than someone
You
in,
don't
you
know.
know, giving out your phone number from a different country.
Someone randomly picking a phone number.
Right. So federally, it's not illegal to just slap a random phone number on a T-shirt and sell it.
Although in New York State, it may well be because I think they have some pretty serious doxing laws.
So what it comes down to is what state
However,
is this particular company based in that made the shirt?
New York. They're in New
Um,
York. I checked it. It was one of the things it said in the article that I was paying attention to. Because
Yeah.
at first I thought it was a BC company, a foreign company, a British Columbia company, doing it to an American person. And I was going to be like, oh well, there are probably no laws governing that then, but because it's in New York, and because I think there are some pretty tight regulations on that sort of thing in New York. Although because they're not just not local, not known, and they're international, which shows that this probably wasn't done out of malice or with
Exactly.
any forethought. There's probably somewhat lesser repercussions. Although I can't imagine that there aren't any repercussions.
I think the fact that they just pulled the shirt is what they would count as okay, they fixed it, because that's the kind of thing that tends to get
Yeah,
acknowledged as a fix.
right. And that may legally work. That may legally count. Peanut Gallery says, so is it doxing if someone gives a fake number at a bar to get a creeper off their backs and it happens to be real? I don't think so. Doxing, I don't think that's doxing because it's not going public. It's not widely public. It's giving one person that number. Doxing, I think, is specifically going public. Making available for the general public information about somebody's name, somebody's address, etc., etc. And I don't think that intent matters. If someone gave a fake number at a bar to a reporter on TV in front of like everybody, and that number turned out to be real, that might fall within my definition of doxing. But if they do it just to get a creeper off their back, that's not doxing. And I feel bad for whoever's phone number, whoever got the, whoever had the number that the creeper got. I feel bad for them for having to deal with that. But also, I understand the need to do something like that for the sake of safety.
And now I just have thought of a very humorous, interesting situation.
Okay.
So we got a creeper, just won't leave them alone, asking for a phone number, and give them a random phone number.
Give them theirs. Yeah.
Imagine
I think
somehow doing that by accident.
I think what would be even funnier is if the creeper didn't realize it was their own number.
Mm-hmm.
Called it, got their own answering mail, and was like their own phone mail, and was like, what? answering mail. Their own voicemail. I almost said
Mm-hmm.
answering service. I almost led on to what my actual age is. I remember before there were answering machines and you had to have a service to answer your phone for you. You young whippersnappers.
Before we had an answering machine, we just hooked up the line to the refrigerator and took notes and stuck it to itself with a magnet.
Right.
No, I mean, yeah, there's that too. Sure.
All right.
Well, all right, we've made it to the end. That's this has been a journey. Thank you guys for being here. I feel like we're pretty well caught up on Trump's antics. Although I do think that we should be acknowledging a bit more how nothing is being done about Gaza. How that's just, and how Israel's being allowed to get away with picking a fight with Iran, Syria, all while it's still continuing its genocide in Gaza. I really think that somebody should be saying something to Benjamin Netanyahu. I do know we called him out a couple of weeks ago, especially because he made that secret journey to Monticello. And it's hard to let him come through our playground without saying something. But just reiterating, Benjamin Netanyahu's a bad person. Defunding NPR. That's going on.
Yeah.
And it means that what's really going to happen is a lot of the local stations are going to stop existing. Places where people like you and me might get our news about impending dangerous weather conditions, such as flash floods in, say, Flood Alley in Texas, where some of the worst floods, flash floods in the country have been known to happen. Where they didn't have a robust or even existing warning system through the state or through the locality. The only warning system that a lot of those people may have had may have been NPR. Or possibly not. And a lot less places will have that kind of a warning system. They won't have the ability to receive not only vital warnings about impending weather and other dangers, but they'll not have the ability to receive valuable information about the world around them. Because funding is being cut for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. It is possible that if you guys get out there and donate now to your local NPR stations, you may be able to save some of them. But it's going to take a concerted effort of the population to keep this resource around. And I think it shows how we as a population have let the government start taking responsibility for things that maybe we should have been taking responsibility for. Maybe we should have been funding our public services more. Maybe we should have been being more active in those things. While the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is not a public service such as, say, the fire and rescue, the fire department, you know, it is, I believe it is a bellwether for what we're going to start seeing in terms of those other services. It's not like there is not precedent for private fire companies to exist in this nation, and it's not like there isn't precedent for those private fire companies to pay more attention to who gets to put out the fire and receive the commission than what's the fire actually doing. There's precedent for those private fire companies to gouge prices, charge inordinately high rates for people who were not a member of their private whatever. And then what I'm trying to point out here is that this sounds abhorrent when we apply it to something so basic as fire safety. No one person amongst us should have to pay more to be saved from a fire than another one of us. And that's why a lot of fire companies are volunteer. That's why a lot of rescue squads are volunteer. We shouldn't have to pay more to stay alive than anyone else. However, these public goods are privatized, have been privatized, and are going to continue to be further and further privatized. As we discussed when we discussed that video by Deja Sade.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily have an answer for this, but I'm also not comfortable with where this is going. I'm not comfortable with oh, well, I guess I do have an answer. Donate to your NPR and PBS station. But on a larger level, I don't really have an answer for this. Other than each of us commit to being a part of the free press. On a greater level, though, the privatization and the hobbling of public services, I don't have a specific answer for that, but it's something that I feel like we all need to stay vigilant about. The next one up, the next thing that they have, as we learned, the next thing they want to privatize is the FAA. And the Federal Aviation Administration. And we're seeing a lot going on right now with aviation safety and aviation regulation. And I think what Deja was telling us was to not be fooled into thinking that even though it's having problems now, that means it should be privatized.
Mm-hmm.
The problems that it's having now mean that we should make greater public investment in these public goods. Answer is smoke a joint. That'll fix it. Thanks, Chris. Actually, I had just finished one. Long after we are gone, this world is going to turn into the movie WALL-E.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasant dream. That's a pleasant dream. I think we have the ability. I do. I believe we have the ability to get to some sort of utopian Star Trek future. Some sort of. And I mean, I'm being very broad with that because, you know, there are ways of looking at the Star Trek future and going, oh, well, that's terrible. You know, the extended dystopia that we have to go through to get to the utopian ideal in TNG and TOS. You know,
What about the terms of service?
no. It's those old scientists. It's those old scientists, Sarah. Because if you notice, just about everybody on those ships were scientists. Thank you, Lower Decks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Who was it? It was Tendi who called him. No, it was Boimler who called them those old scientists. Or maybe not. I don't remember. I was a little stoned when I saw that.
Mm.
Well, all right. I do feel like we've brought up everything. We've caught ourselves up on this. Now we will see where this goes from here. I do feel like, you know, we will be taking a break in a few weeks. By the way, it's about 2 weeks off. We'll be taking a week or two off, I think. But before we get to the break, I feel like we should cover the local elections, some of the local politics going on, just to remind people that they have local politics going on that they should be paying attention to. Now, even though the primaries are over, that doesn't mean that you just get to stop paying attention to what's going on until the election. We still need to be paying attention. And oh gosh, what's her name? I want to. I would like to compare. I would like to do a comparison between. Now both of their names are like just straight out of my
Earl
head.
Spears and Spanberger.
Thank you. Yeah, Winsome. Because every time I see the name, I wince some.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really do. It's Winsome that's the definition of winsome, is something that makes you wince some every time you see it.
No.
That's not the definition of winsome?
I'm not sure how you're spelling it from how you're saying it, but no.
I'm not sure how to spell it now that I'm thinking about it. It just sort of flows out when I do it, but that's usually probably also. I don't think it's spelled like wince. I think it's winesome. But I've always heard it
Sure.
said winsome. I think it's spelled like her name, which is part of why I wince some whenever I see her name, is because that's literally what it means. Like,
Hmm.
You're just hoping to make her lose some?
yeah, probably. I was gonna try and be politic and kind about it, but no. From what I've picked up so far, her politics are so far to the right that I can't. And this is without even comparing her to Abigail Spamberger. Like, this is without even looking at what Spamberger represents. Knowing what her party represents, especially in this state, and then after hearing it confirmed and then expanded on, it's like, no. Shh. I feel like she would happily roll back voting privileges for her own people just to see Democrats fail. I feel like she rails against DEI, not realizing that look at who you are and look at where you are. I'm not gonna say token, but I'm gonna heavily imply token. Like,
Well, that's just because you be token.
no. That's because I be nice. There are lots of other things I could say that would be a lot less nice way of saying that. Okay, fair enough. I guess
sorry.
because I be token, I be being nice. Huh? What?
I'm sorry. Didn't realize that you had put the pre-roll down. So yeah, you no longer be token.
No, I no longer be token. There's a... F you, Chris. F you. I feel like chicken tonight. Man! Man, you gotta go there. No, I do. I feel like... I don't need to necessarily... I do. I do feel like we should know what Abigail Spamberger stands for. We should know who she is. We shouldn't just blindly vote the Democrat. Although I really do like that she was in the CIA. We shouldn't just blindly vote the CIA agent Democrat into office. We should not blindly do that. But the alternative...
At least there's proof that he has some intelligence.
Right? Just saying. I would rather have somebody with some central intelligence in office.
Let's just hope she has the agency to do something with it.
You had to go saying that, man. That just, yeah, no.
Wow.
I-
That's
I-
a local thing.
I don't think they'll give her agency. Don't tell me you're looking for more stuff for us to talk about.
Not necessarily to talk about, but I'm going to go put it in the chat for you to read about in a little bit.
Well, okay. Well, I think we are. I think we have reached the end here. I better call it in before. Yeah, I'm gonna call it in before it starts getting longer. Yeah, that's what she said. Thank you guys again for being here. Thank you, Chris into 386. Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Kingsways, Kush Gang. Thank you. Oh, okay, so this is sign language for K. This is sign language for King. So this should be the sign language for the Kush Gang. K King. Should be. I doubt it works that way. Have I forgotten anybody? Thank you, Darth Dragonis. You
mentioned Alice, right?
I did mention Alice.
That should be everybody then.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you all you lurkers. Much love to all of you. Don't forget to stick around for the raid, and now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.
Industrial music.